Okay, here we go again, guys. In the previous lecture I showed you how to use jQuery, very basic stuff for absolute beginners. I just show it to you also what means a JavaScript toolkit or library. Some people call it framework, some people call them frameworks, and that's not quite true. I showed to you how in Cloud9 actually you cannot use the CDN, the Content Distribution Network, because it gets blocked. So what I'm planning to do is in this lecture just to show you how easy for us will be to switch the IDE and use the deployment server to experiment with the JavaScript in the CDN. So my goal now would be to switch to Code NV1. Another thing I wanted to demonstrate is how to use the jQuery plugins and UI actually. Okay, let's start by pushing whatever we have done here in Cloud9 to GitHub, to the repository. By the way, I'm again wearing the hat of a student. As you can see, I'm working on a clone. I'm not working fork actually. Not working on the original repository, and this allows me to do a lot of things. And as you can see, the JavaScript is becoming more and more. Okay, so now let's push whatever we have done here, and I would prefer to do this on the console. Let's first see how many remotes do we have here. Git status. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, we have a lot of new things. Change but not updated. Use git add file to update, blah blah. Untracked files. Yeah, I know all this. Okay, so far so good. Let's see git remote. Let's make sure origin master. Obviously I have only the origin master, but I don't need anything more. So let's move it to the staging area. This was my working folder, my working directory. I mean, this is my working directory, FMI. Right now I'm in the branch master. What I'm gonna do is let me show you that. Git branch master. Okay, so whatever I have done for the lection for my Bulgarian students and for the previous lection, it's here, but as you can see it's not moved to the staging area, and it's not ready to be committed, and it's not ready, of course, to be pushed to the GitHub. In order to do that, it's very simple. I just will say git add and dot. Let's see now. Git status. As you can see, they're in green and everything is prepared and ready to be committed. So I'll see git commit -m. That's the message. Okay, and the message would be experiment jQuery files created. This is actually what I have done. Let's see now. Git status should be empty. No, nothing to commit. And now we should say git push origin master, and everything will go to GitHub. Okay, as a proof, let me look at here. Right now it's too late already. If I go here, we'll see all the files which have been pushed. Public. Let me make sure in JavaScript we have two jQueries. Yes, two different versions, 1.9.1. If you remember from the previous lection, I have uploaded this new version of jQuery minimized. Also, let's look at in Stoyan Cherysharov. Let's make sure that we have experiment jQuery. Here we go. We have it. That's it. So far so good. We finished our work in jQuery in Cloud9. So I'm gonna close all these windows, and I'm gonna move to Code NVY just to show you how easy it is to switch to a different Cloud ID if we have to. So File, I quit Cloud ID. And as far as I remember, I'm using OpenID technology for Code NVY as well. So let me try that. Let me confirm. We'll see this just in a second. Okay, so now I'm going to codenvy.com and I will continue working on JavaScript and in particular jQuery UI library from CodeNVY, and I'm gonna use their deployment server, which is AppFoc. Let me see, connect with GitHub. Okay, loading your environment. All those are just Git repositories. I mean, all those, when I say that, I mean what we have in Cloud9, what we have in CodeNVY, those are just Git repositories, other Git repositories. And of course we have one central repository which we decided that is central. For me as a student, I have one central, which is my fork, the fork of my professor, and when I finish actually working, I will be sending a pull request to my professor just to make sure that he will integrate whatever I have done to the original repo. Okay, FMI, I'm opening here, and now I'm gonna do fetch, and after that merge. Hopefully there is no conflicts. You understand, right now I'm communicating to my fork in GitHub. I haven't sent a pull request yet to my professor. I'm not gonna show you that right now. Actually I will open Internet Explorer, another browser on this computer, and log in as a professor to show you the original repo where we still don't have this JavaScript files. Of course it's gonna take forever because my computer is slow, but I will be able to show you that. It's really fun working in the cloud. I don't need to stick to a particular machine. As you can see, I can do everything from my tablet, from different computers. I really enjoy that. And there are a lot of disadvantages yet, but I hope that these cloud IDs will improve. I'm happy with Cloud9. The only reason I don't use it for everything is the fact that I cannot get access to my private RSA key, as I said, and also I cannot upload private RSA key. Maybe for the paid version there is such thing. I will try and let you know if that's true. So yeah, I'm changing my HUD here in Mozilla Firefox. I'm logging in as a professor to show you that the Stoyan Cherysharov folder probably either doesn't exist or it has not very much files here. FMI. We'll see now. Yeah, it exists, but you won't see too many. Experiment BG, index, jQuery, as you can see, doesn't exist. Images doesn't exist. Okay, so this soon will be integrated, and if you go here on the bar which shows you the percentage-wise the participation of the different technologies, you will see the PHP 99.8 and JavaScript only 0.2. Let me see in the public. I'm just curious where the jQuery 1.7 comes from. I bet it comes from Zen Framework 2. Let me see here. Yeah, and also this HTML5 JavaScript comes from there as well. Yeah, that's easy to check. We just have to create a new Zen Framework 2 project, connect either with SFTP or download it to our Cloud IDE, Cloud9 or CodeNVY, and we can see that. Okay, I'm gonna close this browser right now. I show it to you how the repository of my professor looks like. Okay, so now we have Stoyan Cherysharov here, but as you can see, it's not synchronized with the GitHub. So let's get this done first. Let me first see the status of the repository here in the cloud in CodeNVY. On branch master, changes not staged for commit, delete, public htaccess. That's fine. So let's say remote, fetch, and of course we need GitHub here. Fetch GitHub. And just for fun, we can use either PHP Cloud or we can use AppFoc, our deployment server, to demonstrate the changes which we have done in the JavaScript. Here we're free to do that because merge, because in both JavaScript will work. Zen master, no, GitHub master merge. Let's see what kind of a conflicts are we gonna have right now. It's just to show you the diversity. In Cloud9 we couldn't use CDN. I show it to you. Right now I'm gonna show how to use CDN and UI, and we'll finish with jQuery with that. After that we'll move to Dojo to show you the same thing. I'm gonna get the project again back to Cloud9. I'm gonna show you Dojo. We'll check if the CDN works there. I doubt it's gonna work, but we will confirm that, and in the next lection probably I will switch again the IDE just for fun, just to show you how that works. Okay, so we don't have a conflicts here, and in Stoyan we have our experiment jQuery HTML, which is exactly what we expect to have here. Okay, now after merging, let me check the status of the repo. Status, no changes added to commit. Yeah, perfect. So we have in Stoyan Cherysharov where our JavaScript world is. I probably should name it differently, but I started this way. I'm not gonna switch it right now. Experiment jQuery. Now let's deploy this to AppFoc and see. Oops, it asks me for my credentials. Those are my okay, let me figure out my password here. Okay, I think this is my password. Login, let's see if that's the right password. Yeah, it seems to me it's the right password. Okay, hello world. Just a little bit strange, but okay, let me try to launch this file which we're working on right now, experiment jQuery. So I should go to Stoyan Cherysharov. I will say experiment jQuery.html, and let's see what happens. Not found. Wow, not a very good start. This is what it should be. I don't believe I made a mistake. The request to experience HTML was not found on the server. FMI experiment jQuery. I don't really see a problem here, but we'll see now. It's really weird. I don't believe I cannot access the subfolders in my project. Female students, blah blah blah. Student share of was not found on this server. Oh, of course, I didn't upload, I didn't update. Okay, let me do update. Yeah, we have to wait a little bit, so it's loading everything. That's why I just forgot to update before I tried to access Stoyan Cherysharov. Actually, what we saw on AppFoc was a very old version of our project. That's why we saw only hello world, but not our beautiful ugly page. Yeah, here we go. Everything works as we expected. Let me try just to access index.html, which I said is beautifully ugly. It's beautiful because come on. Yeah, here we go. Beautiful because it gets loaded. It's ugly because it is ugly, but we will work on that, hopefully. Even if we have to remember with a beautiful ugly page, that's good enough just to remember. Okay, so we're in Cloud 9, and now my goal will be to use jQuery with the CDN. I don't like to use jQuery locally installed. In order to do that, I'm gonna create another HTML file, and just to show you that nothing changes, I'm gonna create another HTML file, which I'm gonna name it differently. HTML. This time I'm gonna comment the local injection, if you wanna call it this way, and we are gonna call it experiment jQuery CDN HTML. Yes, jQuery CDN. I'm gonna call this CDN. And now I'm gonna remove the comments which prevent me from using the jQuery from the CDN, Content Distribution Network. I will gonna say experiment for jQuery CDN, and we shouldn't be able to see any differences because I'm calling my JavaScript file, which is common from the for the both files, one loaded from the CDN and another one locally loading jQuery. Okay, so let's see how that works. CSS style sheet. Yeah, I'm not gonna change this as well. As I said, my goal is just to demonstrate that there shouldn't be a difference. Of course, we have to. Why is that? Why is this question mark here? HTML. What's the problem? Experiment jQuery CDN HTML. Maybe the question mark is here because it hasn't been added to GitHub, probably. Okay, that's why. But let's first see the file in our deployment server, and after that I hope that the jQuery loading from a different source is not gonna cause any problems to the deployment server. Eventually they just try to avoid the XSS attacks, cross-server scripting attacks, and that's why in Cloud 9 we cannot do that. We cannot preview pages with JavaScript coming from a different domain. But here on the deployment server, I hope that we won't have this problem. Just gonna allow us to load jQuery. Of course, the local one works with the local installation of jQuery. Okay, and now I will say CDN. If you remember, this is how I named the file. Yep, it works. Perfect. Okay, so the next step is just to demonstrate the UI. I'm gonna do this here in the deployment server, in this file, which comes from the CDN. In order to use the JavaScript plugins, and the UI is a subset of the plugins, we just have to add another script tag with the plugin. Let me experiment with that. So I will say jQuery.org as far as I remember, or just let's search for jQuery. I don't remember. It's a com or jQuery plugins. Plugin jQuery.com. It's a subdomain of jQuery.com. Okay, so there are always very interesting plugins, and you can see how to use them on the page. They just extend the abilities of jQuery and offer different functionality. Live jQuery utilizes the power of jQuery selector by firing callbacks from jQuery input mask. jQuery input mask is jQuery plugin which creates an input mask. No, I just looking for something. Type heads, connections, Hansen table, mask plugin, jQuery bright cove, jQuery water wheel carousel. I don't have images right now, so and there are also sections where you can see different plugins. UI, as I said, is a subset of the plugins. Animation, input. Okay, let's try with animation, for example, or something. Extends the jQuery, the internal jQuery effects, include morphing, blah blah blah. No, I'm just looking for something simple, just to show you how to install effects. I was looking at a day very simple one, which is just showing a different tags, titles, fade an element. Okay, let's look at this one. jQuery fade an element. Try a demo. Let's see how that looks, and try to implement it on our page. Embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, okay, it's embarrassing, really. So let's try another plugin, jQuery UI shake effect. Oh, that's interesting. Try a demo. Oh, again, it's not working. The demo page is not working. Try a demo, read the doc. View homepage, fork on GitHub. As you can see, you can fork it. It's really interesting, it seems. In any case, on the CDN it shows you how to load it. So if I want, for example, to use this this plugin, I just have to follow those steps, which are very simple. From the CDN you load the CSS. After that you load the jQuery, and you load the jQuery UI JavaScript. Okay, so let's actually do this in a separate JavaScript. I'm gonna create experiment jQuery UI, CDN UI. It becomes a little bit longer, but okay. So this file is gonna be called experiment jQuery. Okay, CDN UI. I don't need the local installation. I just will repeat the instructions from the page. For all the plugins, the installation is similar. Sorry. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load the CSS first. Yeah. Okay. Quick access. Type CS text CSS. I don't need that, but I will do it. This title will be UI jQuery. Or rather plugins, but yeah, let me jQuery plugins. Okay. Style sheet. CDN JavaScript. It's not too much fun if the pages don't work, but it happens. We have to appreciate the fact that the guys have created this this toolkit, and they're offering to everyone to use it. Let me see now. HTTP source, here we go. I was missing a quotation mark. That was quotation mark. Okay, this is how we get jQuery, and now we are getting the UI. My intention was to show you the plugin, so let me try something that works. jQuery slide effects. Okay, I hope that this demo will work. This is so embarrassing. Okay, let me find something that works. Ajax, image, effects, jQuery 555 plugins. Okay, jQuery file upload, jQuery++, MIT licensed collection of extremely useful DOM helpers, and jQuery boilerplate, infinite Ajax scroll, jCanvas, Marco Polo, jQuery manifest, jQuery. I was looking for something very simple, but effects, image, Ajax, input, animation. Okay, come on. Scrollorama. For Git view, try a demo. Tell me that it works. Oh, Scrollorama, yes, I have seen that before. Let me show you the UI, the source. Lettering, Scrollorama. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste more time on that. So this is actually how you get the UI working here in jQuery. Let me see the UI. Probably that's gonna work. File upload jQuery UI bounce effect. Try a demo. No. Contributors. UFX core, jQuery UI draggable, jQuery fault effect. Try a demo. No, the demos are not working today. They just refuse. jQuery Accordion. Collapse, try a demo. I just want to show you a demo. Here we go. Here we go. Finally something that works. Here it is. This is the accordion. So let's try to implement it on our page. Collapse content, customize icon, full space, examples, collapse content, default functionality, view source. Okay, so let's see how we can implement that. UI style sheet has been already loaded. This is how you see resource demos. No, I don't need that. This is how actually you implement it. It's done already, but I just will copy and paste again just for any case. Okay, so what we do is we load the core, we load the jQuery UI, and now we don't need this external file, we can do it directly here. Script, as you can see, we expect the DOM to be built. This is the fourth way to use the jQuery function. And when that's done, think about that like onload happens, event happens, occurs. What we do is accordion, and here we go. I'll copy this div. We have unique identifier accordion. I'm gonna leave this. As you can see, everything is a copy and paste when we try to use jQuery. That's why the people like it so much, because it's very easy to be used. Okay, let's see now if that works. So I load my own style sheet. After that, I load the style sheet which is necessary for jQuery to work. I load the core, I load the UI, and after that put my JavaScript. Of course, I can extract the JavaScript and put it in a separate file, or I can do it here directly in the HTML. This is another way, so I will leave it just for diversity. Okay, so again, project pass appfoc. We will update, wait a little bit, and we will call this page, which is called experiment jQuery CDN UI.html. and we'll get the accordion. Sorry about the delay. Looking for different plugins, but in fact the plugins get loaded the same way. As I said, UI is a subset of the plugins, so UI actually are plugins as well. Okay, so experiment jQuery CDN, experiment jQuery CDN, UI. Let's see what happens here. That's strange. Again, experiment jQuery. Let me make sure that the file is, yeah, the file is not in the right position. The experiment HTML file should be in the Stoyan folder, not in the JS folder, of course. So I'm gonna move this file. Hopefully that's not gonna cause too many troubles for the IDE. Thank you God, we didn't move it to the staging area and we didn't commit it yet. Loading data. Loading data. Yeah, okay, close. So here it is, the mistake. I just put the file in the JS. Let me try to move it. That will be very interesting experiment. No, I cannot move it. So I can say cut item. Cannot keep open, blah blah. We have to close it, of course. So let me try to cut it now and put it here. Paste. Let's see what happens. Moving. jQuery. Here we go. It's done. Let's see what happens to deployment right now. Deployment server. Update. The deployment server should remove the on the deployment server we should get experiment jQuery CDN UI removed from the JavaScript folder and moved to the experiment jQuery to the Stoyan Cherysharov. Okay, so let's see if that happens. Yeah, we have the accordion. See how easy it is to use the plugins? Even without too much knowledge about jQuery, you can use a lot of plugins, and there are plugins almost for everything. So all you have to do is just come here, not of course only to jQuery UI, but to plugins. Come on, plugin jQuery. Choose the appropriate plugin for your needs and follow the instruction on the page to implement it to your pages. And the page looks very professional already. Okay, so the next thing is just to push everything to GitHub, and after that I will switch back to Cloud9, just showing you everything in the next lection. But okay, so let's close this. Let's show you how I'm gonna do that. If we call now status, we'll see that there are new files. On branch master, changes not staged for commit, delete public htaccess, untracked files, Stoyan Cherysharov experiment jQuery CDN and UI. Yeah, exactly those files. So I'm gonna add those files. I'm gonna add all the files, in fact, and you'll see that instead of untracked files, these two files here will be moved here. Okay, we're waiting for code NVY to complete, successfully added to index. Now we're gonna call again the status, and when we confirm that everything is right, we'll do commit and push to GitHub. And as I said, finally I will send a pull request when I finish with all lections. Now I'm gonna do the same for Dojo. I'm gonna show you how to get it on the page, the core Dojo. After that I'm gonna show you eventually the digit. This is their widgeting system, how they call it, digits and dojos. And I'm gonna push to the repository and send a pull request to my professor. Okay, let's say git status change to be committed, new file, changes not staged to for commit. Yeah, I agree with that. So I'm gonna do commit, and I'm gonna say jQuery UI and CDN demonstrated. jQuery UI and CDN demonstrated. Commit. I'm gonna push to GitHub right now, to my fork on the GitHub. As I said, right now I'm with the hat of a student. A new SHA key has been generated, SHA hash or a fingerprint if you want to call it this way. Okay, we're waiting. Okay, so let's see what the status will say now. Changes not staged for commit, delete, no changes added, on branch master. Okay, so now we are gonna do git push, and of course to GitHub. On the PHP Cloud, actually we cannot show these JavaScript files because only folder public is actually public. It's served by the Apache server. So this demonstration cannot be done, but soon will be, because I will ask my students to create folders with their first and family name here, and inside they will have CSS images and JavaScript, and they will have their own CSS, JavaScript and images. Okay, so let's see again status. Let's check the GitHub to make sure that everything is there. Stoyan Cherysharov, yeah, jQuery CDN UI, the new one which we have added, experiment jQuery CDN, everything is there. Okay, here we have only JavaScript files, so that's beautiful. Actually 28% of the project is already JavaScript. Okay, we're finishing with jQuery. Thank you for your attention. I show it to you in this lection how to switch the IDEs, how to check and develop, how to check what you have done with JavaScript on your deployment server. In this case, application fork, not the development server, but the deployment server. I told you that right now the way we're working, we cannot see the changes on PHP Cloud. Only the folder public is there, so we have to create the same thing but in folder public in order to see our JavaScript. So I showed you how to use the deployment server to see the JavaScript files, and we'll switch back to Cloud9 where I'm gonna show you a little bit Dojo, Digit, their system with widgets, and probably I'm gonna switch again to Code NVY. I'm gonna switch back and forth just to show you how easy it is. So that's it for now, and see you very soon.